Alright, Anthony here at DIYautotech, and we're going to be showing you how to change out your tires off our room today over here at South by College. First thing you want to do is get the car up on the lift, safety lift up, get your impact on and get the tires off. Now that we get the tire off, we can bring it over to the balancer and the tire machine and get new tires put on here. Alright, so once you get the tire off the car, you need to get the actual air out of the tire. So we pull the cap off, and we use this tool here to pull the seal out. Make sure you hold on to this little piece so you can reuse it. You can also replace these if you like. Alright, once the air is deflated out of the tire, your next step is to get the actual lead weights off of the tires before you install new ones. Make sure to get them on both sides as well. Rolling. Alright, now we gotta break the bead off the tire. Alright, now that we broke the bead, we can get on the tire machine and actually pull the tire off the rim. Alright, our next step is to obviously get the first bead off on the inside of the rim. So we gotta pull the tire. You're good. Alright, now that we got the top part of the tire off, we got to get the bottom part as well. So we stick our tool way in the bottom here, along with the tire. Now we get our new tire. Hopefully it's the right size. And we gotta put some soap around the edges. I like getting some soap on my hand. Alright, so for this part, we're basically just pushing the tire down and come closer so you can see what we're doing. We're getting it centered right in between the machine right here, right in between these two spots. And then all we have to do is rotate the actual machine like so, and we get our top bead on, or our bottom bead. And we're going to do the same for this side. As you can see, there's kind of a little notch in here. You want to get the tire sitting in there while pushing down on one of the sides, as you can see. Alright. Now that we got the tire on, we got to actually seat the beads. So we take our air compressor, we plug it in, and we give it some power, and you'll hear both the pops. Both pops went off, now it's seated, and now what we're going to do is plug our valve seal back in. And then we'll bring the tire to about 32 psi, and we'll balance it as well. Alright, now that the valve seal's in, we're going to do the same thing. We have a pressure gauge over here that we can read off what psi we're running at. We're going to set these to 32. Alright, now that that's set to 32 pounds, we can screw on our cap here and we'll get this thing ready for balancing. Now that we have the new tire on the rim, we're going to use our balancer here to set it up and get our weights on. The first step is to find the right cone that fits inside the hub here. Make sure it's nice and tight, it fits you loosely. Then you're going to want to pop out any packs that you have on the tire, anything plastic like this. Then we're going to want to center the rim on this actual hub, tighten it up. Make sure it's nice and tight. Is going to take our centering pins here to measure how wide the actual rim is. So we're going to grab it and put it right there on one side, let's see, on the other side. And then we get our reading. Let's check it again. Alright, it looks a lot better this time. The tire's actually spinning correctly, it's not bouncing all around. And we have a reading here. We need to add 3/4 ounce on this side and then 1.5 ounces or 1.25 ounces on the other side. Basically what these little lines are telling me is where it wants me to add the weights. Okay? So we're going to set it up to where it's in the green right there. So that means we're going to set up our weight vertical in that spot. There's a bunch of different weights you can use. So you use this little piece here, you put it on the rim's edge to figure out which type of rim or which type of actual lead weight or zinc weight you're going to use. For this tire, we're using the yellow ones, MC. So we'll go over here to our weights, our yellow weights, MC, and for the left side, so to set these up, like I said, you're going to want to center it. So we'll center the left one. And there's a little pedal down here that I can hold to set the brake so the tire won't actually move. Okay, so we'll hold it right there. I can't really move the tire. We'll take our 0.75 and we'll use this tool here and we'll hammer it on. I want to make sure it's straight, it's vertical with the tire. Make sure it's on nice and tight. Okay, now we're going to go do the right one. So we're going to center the right one so that the right arrow is green. And with that, we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to set it up vertically, so straight up and down from the tire. Again, I'm going to hold my brake. That one's on nice and tight. And now that we have both the weights on, we're going to close the machine again, and we're going to see if it's zeroed out. Alright, and as you can tell, this tire is zeroed out, so it's all balanced. And we can put this tire back on the car and torque it down to spec, and then it's ready to go. That's Alright, so once we get the tire for the car, we gotta mount it and bolt it back up. Get it centered on all the holes there. And then we'll start putting a couple of the lug nuts in. We're just going to get them on hand tight for now. Alright, now I'm just taking a wrench tone, just getting them a little tighter before I drop the car down. You don't want to do a start pattern with this, so come over here so I can show you what start pattern is. Basically with a 5 lug nut wheel like this, you do a start pattern as you go across like this. And that's your start pattern. If you have 4 lug nuts, you just do up, down, and cross, and do a cross pattern. So for this, all I'm doing is snugging the bolts down. And then after I get them all snugged down like this, we're going to lower the car back down. After we do this for all the wheels, we're going to lower the car back down, put a little weight on the tire, and then we'll torque them down to what Pontiac specifications are. Alright, we're not going to drop the car all the way. We just want to let it sit down a little bit. Tires to spec. So we've got our wheel here, so we need to torque up the spec. We've got a torque wrench, and then we've got our socket. Using the impact sockets a little stronger. We're going to set this up to 100 foot-pounds because that's what Pontiac calls for this car. So we set the gauge up to 100 foot-pounds, lock the switch, make sure it's on tightening, and then we'll torque up these wheels in a start pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure not to use an impact gun when you're torquing these up. Get on here, torque these down. Listen for the click. That one's torqued. That one's torqued. now that we've done that, we're going to go over each tire, each torque, again, just to double check. Alright, this tire is good to go. Forgot to mention, if you got these little plastic caps, like a lot of cars do, make sure to screw those on too. And you don't need to torque these, just get them like hand tight, they're plastic. Hand tight plus maybe like a quarter turn. Alright, now that you've done that, this tire is all good to go. And we'll do this for each tire, we'll check each torque, and this car will be good to go. And that's been your video from DIYautotech. See you next time.